Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to NAUI's Dive Team Report. I'm your host, Greg Martin. Whether you're a new diver just taking your basic open water certification or a skilled diver wanting to learn a new specialty, the training is key to your success. Randy Shaw is NAUI's Director of Training and New Product Development and has the task of making sure that training is the best it can be. Randy, talk a little bit about how NAUI approaches training.
The key in diving to being a safer diver, a better diver, is to continue training. And it's that simple. Way back early on, we learned that divers that dive consistently and maintain their skills are much less likely to have a diving incident. So all of us as teaching instructors and even divers, I think we owe a debt to not only ourselves, but our dive buddies, that we keep our skills up so that we don't end up being a problem for our buddies to have to deal with.
We see a lot of instances where divers, and I've been a part of this myself, where we get into it, we get some good training, we dive a little bit, and then we disappear from the diving world for, could be a year, could be 10 years, 20 years. And then all of a sudden we see them coming back. What do you feel like should be the approach at that point for somebody getting back into diving? Should they start refreshing from the beginning or how?
No, I don't think anybody needs to start again. We recommend anybody that has not made a dive in the preceding year do some kind of recurrent training to get their skills back up. I think that's a very good policy for anyone that dives. If you haven't been in the water in a year or more, go see a NAUI instructor and get in the water with them and refresh your skills. I think that's the only way as an industry that will help to maintain the safety records that we've been able to maintain.
Some people view training as a means for a dive shop to make more money. And that's something as an instructor myself, I've never viewed as. I mean, it's great that the dive shop or the instructor makes extra money. But as you said in the onset of this, that it's more about your skill and your safety and your comfort. Do you see that the same way?
Oh, very much so. And if you look at the average dive shop, virtually all dive shops run all of their classes at or below cost just to try and get people interested in diving. And that's, their whole business is about getting people into diving. So if they can run affordable courses, they have a much greater chance of getting new people into the sport. So where on one hand you say, well, they're trying to push me to do this course or that course. What everyone in the industry is trying to do is get their students to get as skilled as possible so that they can enjoy the sport. Because as a new diver, you're really not comfortable yet in the water in the sense that it's a conditioned response. But as you dive with divers, you see the guys that make a lot of dives. They become so comfortable in the diving that they no longer need to think about, I have to add a little air to my BC because I'm sinking. It becomes a conditioned response. And they have much more fun because now, rather than think about how to make a safe dive and I have to do this or I have to do that, they can then go enjoy the flora and fauna.
And that's the fun part. That's where diving really gets to be fun, is when you stop kind of thinking about all of this other stuff, the weight around my waist, how much air is in my BC, my buoyancy, all those things. You stop thinking about that as a top of mind thing, and you start thinking about, that's the coolest wreck I've ever seen, or what is that? Oh, it's an octopus. Oh my God.
Well, we just got back from Sipadan, and I was amazed at the number of fish, and we were actually swimming through a huge school of fish. And it was fun to just be able to relax and not have to worry about, do I have to do this or do I have to do that? I can just enjoy this wonderful scene. Makes all the difference in the world.
I want to talk a little bit about the actual training process, though, or getting to the training process. We as NAUI divers, NAUI professionals, we all have to look back to the NAUI Bible, the S&P. That has to be a difficult piece of work to change and massage and update.
Yeah, and actually NAUI is unique in the industry in that NAUI is a membership association. So all of our standards and policies, procedures, developments, changes all come from a committee of NAUI members that is a part of the NAUI's board of directors' responsibility. So the training committee meets on a regular basis to review all of these things and keep NAUI standards at the forefront of the industry.
One of the things that I enjoy very much about the NAUI way of doing things is that NAUI has come up with this guideline and has said these are the minimum things that you need to do, but you have the ability to do above and beyond if you so wish. We dive in the Pacific Northwest, which is, as anybody who dives up here knows, is a very tough kind of a dive. I mean, it's a very heavy gear, it's cold water, very confined when it comes to the gear that we wear, the dry suits and so forth, as opposed to somebody diving in warm water someplace, South Florida or wherever it happens to be. We require an awful lot more in the realm of training of a basic class than you probably would teach in that warm water climate. And I appreciate the fact that NAUI allows us to do that.
Oh, there's no doubt. And a part of NAUI certification that any diver gets is that set of certification allows the diver to dive in conditions like he was trained in. So we tell our new divers, if you learned how to dive in South Florida, where you wore just a very light lycra suit and very little else aside from your equipment, you're not really equipped to go dive in the Pacific Northwest, where the water temperature is seldom above 60 and you're wearing a dry suit or a very heavy wetsuit and a lot of weight. So wherever you go to dive, you first want to be trained. So I would recommend to any diver at whatever level certified, if they were trained in the Caribbean, if they're going to the Pacific Northwest to dive, that they should go to a dive shop and get some diving specific knowledge for that area and the type of diving that divers do.
One final question. If people are interested or if they have questions in regards to training, where do they go for answers? Where should they go?
Always your first choice is to go find a NAUI instructor and talk to them. It's their job, and they're knowledgeable people. They want to help you continue your education. They want to answer your questions, and that's your resource, because anytime you want to buy a piece of equipment, go on a trip, you should always go to a NAUI retailer, because supporting them is your source for all of the things that you need to dive and dive safely, and you don't have to go anywhere else.
Want to say thank you for your time this morning, and as always, looking forward to seeing what's new at NAUI.
Lots and lots of new things coming out, so as we go forward, I think people are going to see NAUI as even several strides ahead of the rest of the pack.
Well, again, training is the key to the success of your diving career, all the way from basic through instructor and beyond. Be sure and check out all the NAUI scuba courses at NAUI, NAUI.org, or at your local NAUI dive center. If you have a comment or you have a suggestion for a different show, be sure and send me an email, podcast@NAUI.org. And that's this episode of NAUI's Dive Team Report. I'm Greg Martin. Thanks for listening. I'll see you underwater.